In the brain in the cranium is the cerebrum. In the cerebrum in particular the claustrum which sits in the middle of the head is where there is a secretion of brain fluid. This fluid in ancient Greece was called the Christos. It's a beautiful fluid that comes from the cerebellum and it pours down the spinal cord and reaches the sacral plexus next to the sacrum, which are the vertebrae bones at the bottom of the spinal column. The bottom off the spinal cord is called the coccyx and above that is the sacrum and they are fused bones. The sacral plexus is connected to the sacrum and the fluid that comes from the cerebrum pours down the spinal cord. The claustrum is otherwise known as the holy claustrum because of this beautiful oil. The spinal cord also does thinking. You see, the holy claustrum is otherwise known as the Santa claustrum because this fluid that goes down to the sacral plexus is a sacral fluid, and this is where the story of Santa Claus bringing presents from the chimney comes from. It's a story of physiology, and the Bible was a beautiful manual of physiological regeneration. As the oil ascends through the spinal cord to the midbrain, the vibration of the oil of the Christ increases. The oil is differentiated via the pineal gland, which is the electric portion. The pituitary gland is the magnetic portion. The oil travels through the pingala nerves, which are also otherwise known as the kundalini. There are a network of nerves that are connected to your brain located via the vagus nerve, which feeds the lungs, stomach and other organs. This network is also referred to as the tree of life. If one would abstain from sex or primal behaviors, one can be saved, and the oil would rise through the heart and throat chakra to a higher vibration. At the bottom, the oil has a lower vibration. With proper practices such as meditation, for example, one is able to rise this oil via the 33 vertebrae spinal columns. When the oil rises to the top, the optic thalamus, it crosses this nerve, which is called the crucifixion because the oil is not killed and destroyed. Instead, it becomes magnified 1,000 times, where the oil remains there for 3 days and then reaches the pineal gland where it illuminates the optic thalamus. The optic thalamus was known by ancient Egyptians as the ascension port. Millions of brain cells that were dormant become alive. Overeating, alcohol or sex at the wrong time can disrupt this oil or seed, and this is what is known as eating from the tree of life. Once the oil is depleted, the flesh dies. Death results from using up all of the oil. Heaven means heaved up in the head. The cranium, that sits above the torso, is known as the heaven. The heart chakra, the middle part, and the bottom part, referred to as Sodom and Gomorrah, is where primal instincts occur such as temptation. You must raise this oil so that one is living in divinity. This ancient sacred knowledge is the story of Christ within us all. If we practice things like tantric sex and stop the seed from dying, we retain this seed to rise up. At this point, when the oil exponentially speeds up to hit the pineal gland, all of our millions or billions of dormant brain cells are activated, and we are now operating at the God brain level from the cerebrum. This would be activation of your true spiritual self, and you will remember who you are, and why you incarnated. Thanks for listening. Follow for our YouTube for more.